Hi, everybody. So today's topic is self-regulated learning, and I'm gonna talk about what is self-regulated, the history of it, and the process. There are some process of the self-regulated learning, and also give some examples in real life situations. So, what is self-regulated learning? Self-regulated learning is a cyclical process and wherein the student plans for a task, monitors their performance, and then reflects on the outcome. And it is all about how learners take control of their own learning process. So, this is a picture of the cycle of self-regulated learning. So, first, we're gonna have like a plan, and we're gonna set goals and lay out our strategies, and then we're gonna apply those strategies while learning and monitor our own performances, and then after monitoring, we're gonna evaluate our performances and see what we learned and what we didn't learn, or was it, beneficial, I guess. So the history is like the concept of self-regulated learning has roots in education psychology and dates back like several decades, of course, because it's not something that we know newly. It has been going around, and I mean, learning is a lifelong process, right? Learning is a lifelong process, so we have to know some learning strategies to achieve the learning gratefully, I guess. So, of course, self-regulated learning is like a very old learning style. And in the 1980s, researchers like Barry Zimmerman and Paul Pintrich were at the forefront of developing the theory. So today I'm gonna mention about Zimmerman's and Pintrich's model of SRL, SRL, no, SRL, SRL, sorry, self-regulated learning. So the first person is Barry Zimmerman. It is a picture of him, I guess. He is considered the founding father of self-regulated learning theory, and he developed the most influential model of SRL, called Zimmerman's cyclical model. It has three phases. So the first phase is forethought phase. Before learning, students, set goals, plan strategies, and judge their self-efficacy. So Zimmerman mentioned efficiency, self-efficacy a lot. So what it is, like the confidence maybe. Are you efficient enough to learn the things, or do you believe in yourself while learning those things? And the second phase is like a performance phase during learning. So the first one is before learning, and the second is during learning. During learning, the students will are gonna use some strategies or self-control and self-monitoring. And the third one is self-reflection. So after the learning phase, the students will evaluate their performance, experience some satisfactions or disappointment, like because of the result of the learning, it can change from satisfaction to disappointment, and decide what to change next time. And he also emphasized that learning is a cyclical and based on feedback and continually adjusted by learners and yeah, we mentioned about the self-efficacy, motivation, strategy use, persistence, and academic performance. And he also differentiated good learners from poor learners. So he found that successful learners will set some specific goals, plan and monitor their work, and seek help proactively, and keep track of progress and reflect honestly. So actually, he found out that successful learners are like this, and he said like, okay, it will help to my model. So you know it is all about self-regulated learning with improving yourself and using some cognitive thinking, and he did that while making those processes. And then we have Paul Pentrich. So he was a leading figure in this field and created one of the most widely used models of self-regulated learning, and the model called the Pentrich model. So it has four phases. So the first one is forethought and planning, like setting goals, planning strategies, and activating prior knowledge. So you're gonna firstly set a goal and plan your strategy, and you're gonna think about your topic, right? And you may see that, oh, okay, so this topic has some roots of my knowledge. So yeah, I can activate my prior knowledge and think that, oh, I learned this before, back in my days in the high school, or I learned it from my mother, and etc. So you're gonna activate the prior knowledge. He mentioned that. And the second one is monitoring. So it is like being aware of one's understanding, emotions, and strategies during the learning. So a learner can monitor itself, himself or herself, sorry, but also maybe the teacher can monitor them as well. So Paul Pinterest would not say that, okay, learning is all about self-regulation. He actually mentioned that, you know, we have some context and, you know, compared to Zimmerman, it's more context and motivation centered rather than just, differentiate the learners. And the third one is like control. So you're gonna control yourself, adjust learning strategies and change your plans maybe. And the fourth one is reflection and reaction. No, sorry, reaction and reflection. So you're gonna evaluate your performance and see, yeah, reflect on what worked and what didn't work actually. So, and also there is some comparison between them. I'm not just trying to, compare the two of the models, because we cannot say that this one is better than this one or this one is better than this one, because they both have great ways, and they are both very, understandable and a great way or a great example of the self-regulated learning. And Zimmerman models has like a three phase, and Pinterest has like a four phase. And Zimmerman usually focus on self-efficacy or self-monitoring, and Pinterest focuses on the motivation, cognition, and context. And Zimmerman's is like a very learner centered, while Pinterest is like a more context and motivation centered, as I told you before. So these are the two models that we learned from the history. And I also want to mention that there are four main strategies of self-regulated learning. So the first one is like a cognitive one. So these are techniques that helps learners process information more effectively. I mean, we mentioned that before, but like summarizing, note taking, or making some connections between them, like with your prior knowledge. And the second one is like a metacognitive one, is like these involves planning how to learn or monitoring your own understandings, like evaluating your learning. And the third is like a motivational one. These are methods to keep yourself motivated, maybe like positive self-talk or self-reward or like some goal orientation. And the fourth one is behavioral. So these include like managing your environment and behaviors, and managing time, seeking attention maybe, or evaluating your performance. And also, I want to give some examples of in real life situations to make it easier for you to understand what it is self-regulated learning. And I want to say that while researching for the presentation, because I knew that I'm gonna do a presentation about this topic, I actually did a self-regulated learning. Yeah, like I researched from the Google, from Wikipedia, from whatever you're gonna see on my bibliography actually. So I research for that and then evaluate the topics and see like what I can talk about or what are some essential parts of the self-regulated learning. And also I did not maybe like make like a positive self-talk or award myself because it's like I mean it's in the part of the self-regulated learning as well. Of course, like you're gonna self-reward yourself with, oh, you did a great job. Let's go eat out or let's go get some chocolate or whatever. So after the presentation, I'm gonna reward myself, I guess, with just laying down on the bed, anyways. And behavioral, maybe for a behavioral part, for an example, I chose silent place, like a very silent. My roommate's not in here right now, and um, I told them that I'm gonna do a presentation now. So you'll see I'm gonna do a presentation. So I want you to, keep it quiet or just leave the room. And they chose to leave the room. And so these are some strategies based on my experience of doing a presentation. But also, I gave like two different examples uh, for the everyday life. So the first one is learning a new language. For example, you're gonna learn English. So first, you're gonna watch some short videos, YouTube videos, and repeat some phrases or make some vocabulary lists. And this is the cognitive part of self-regulated learning. And the second one, you're gonna check, am I improving in listening or speaking, or am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? Or do I see any improvement? So this is like a metacognitive way. And the third is like a setting some small goals, rewarding yourself with chocolate or, you know, um, self-reward and positive self-talk. So this is the motivational part. And the fourth is changing the environment, maybe going to a quiet place or asking native speakers for help in making new friends while learning English. So this is the behavioral part. Now, I also want to say that, of course, self-regulated learning, we are mentioning a lot of, academic ways, but it is not only academic, it could be based on everything. And I mean, as people, we born alone and we learn alone, so it is actually the part of self-regulated as well. I mean, self-regulated learning is a part of life. Maybe I can say that. And this is the second example that I want to give. So, training at the gym and fitness, like self-regulation, is not only academic. I want to mention that in here. Like, you're gonna set a fitness goal, for example, run 3 kilometers or exercise 4 times a week, blah blah blah. And then you're gonna track your progress with an app, maybe, and you'll adjust your workout when you feel tired or see if it is you're gonna evaluate like if it is great enough or am I doing it wrong or am I doing it right. You're gonna self-talk and decide, and you can stay motivated and with playlists and rewards and some self-reward as well. Okay, I did my job, I did my goal today, so I'm gonna eat a pasta maybe. Maybe it might not be a great idea, but it can be a self-reward. And I guess that's all I'm gonna talk about today. Yeah, this is the bibliography. So I use Wikipedia, ChatGPT, and the US Department of Education. And thank you for listening.